Thank you, my dear colleagues and fellow chartered accountants. I congratulate Dr. C.A. Viraksha for making it connect easy as a very important element of today's program. I think we have to connect easy. I think to this time, in the time when we are facing second wave, I think we have to have a connect easy so that we can connect with doctors, connect with pharmacists, connect with hospitals, connect with cylinder providers. Connect easy will also come as well as we are connecting with fellow chartered accountants and trying to do a very good job during these difficult times. Let me wish all of you a very happy Foundation Day of both states, Gujarat and Maharashtra. They are like twin brothers, born on the same day, same time, to the same mother. They came from the same womb. And therefore, it is not surprising that Gujarat and Maharashtra share a huge common culture. It is always debatable when you talk to Gujaratis and Maharashtrian, it is always debatable whether Srikhand belongs to Gujarat or Srikhand belongs to Maharashtra. Whether Puran Poli is Maharashtrian or Puran Poli is Gujarati. So there will always be a debate on that. Of course, nobody will debate whether Khandwe is Maharashtrian or Gujarati. That nobody will say. But always, otherwise, there will be so many issues on which we are actually very good in debating anyway. So I think we can always find such issues to debate upon. But Maharashtra, Gujarat not only share common culture, and that's why food is one of the part of a culture. But in Mumbai, those who are grown in Mumbai, each one of us, and I'm born in Mumbai, grew up in Mumbai. So each one of us, for us, Marathi and Gujarati are more or less our own languages. So of course, my daughter-in-law is a Gujarati, so that's a different matter. But the only son I have, so the only daughter-in-law. And Gujaratis and Maharashtrians are actually share many common concerns today. Both are also equally affected by corona, and we are trying to fight it. But that's temporary. I'm sure it's hope it's temporary and we'll get over very soon. But as we do that, we have to find out, that's the program that you organized today, ways of faster economic development. These are the two states which are probably the most industrialized ones. And each one of them have crafted a different strategy. Gujarat has actually created a huge chemical hub. Gujarat and Maharashtra both have pharmaceutical companies in huge quantities. Actually, they are the ones who are now providing support to the medical fraternity and trying to address this pandemic. Gujaratis are known for their entrepreneurship. You'll find, go to any part of the world, you'll find a Gujarati there doing very well. He's not just there, but he's doing very well. So there used to be a famous saying that you go to US, you'll find a Patel who's running a motel. But that was the old times. Now the Patels of Gujarat have graduated into doing so many things. Only in a university in US, in Florida, one Gujarati couple had donated $20 million to the university in Tampa, in Florida. It's the highest donation given by an Indian to any university in the US, and that's a Gujarati. Not surprising, because Gujaratis are known for their entrepreneurship, known for their philanthropy, and they are really doing well wherever they went. India needs entrepreneurship. So we can learn from Gujarat a great deal about that. I remember when I was a Minister of Commerce and Industry, and I was looking after Startup India as well as entrepreneurship development. I went to University of Gujarat in Ahmedabad. I was surprised pleasantly, obviously, to see young girls and young boys in their teens, not yet graduated. They had such brilliant ideas about entrepreneurship. It's very heartening to see that. Maharashtra, again, has a huge history, long history. And both have a huge tourism potential. Gujarat has the longest coastline in India. Maharashtra has 720 coastline in India. In fact, I represented 4 times in Lok Sabha, a coastal part of Maharashtra from Konkan. So both coastlines could be the future growth centers of the country, because all over the world, whether you go to US, they say East Coast and the West Coast. Coasts are the cause of growth. And Gujarat and Maharashtra both have huge coastlines. Of course, Gujarat is the longest coastline in India. Gujarat, again, and Maharashtra both have a tremendous potential for tourism. I remember some years ago, I was going from Delhi to Mumbai, which I always used to do. Nowadays, of course, travel is fully restricted. An elderly woman was sitting next to me, and she was drawing something on the map. Somehow we got into conversation. So I said, "What is this?" He said, "I'm leading a group of anthropologists." She was a professor of anthropology in US. She said, "I'm leading a group. There are 30 for some numbers like that who have come with me. And we are going to be in Gujarat for about 3 weeks." I said, "Gujarat for 3 weeks? What?" She said, "There is so much in Gujarat as a tourist that every day morning I give a lecture to these fellow professors about what we are going to see. Then when we come back in the evening, we also learn from each other's experiences. We do that." Just imagine. In fact, for me, it was a surprise that Gujarat needs 3 weeks to explore. So we don't realize our own potential. Maharashtra has so many forts. Maharashtra has such a huge potential. Ajanta Ellora is a marvel of our own culture and tradition. I will tell you, in my old constituency, Konkan, there are temples which are few hundred years, probably 1,000 years old. How they would have been constructed? So beautiful temples. Each of these has a huge history and culture. We spend money, go abroad to look at some small little historical monument. We have plenty of them. We are not used them properly. We are not marketed it correctly. So we see a huge potential for industrialization, for service sector growth, for agriculture. Gujarat and Maharashtra both are also predominantly agriculture states. We don't realize it. The cotton that you grow in Gujarat and Maharashtra actually helps propelling the growth of textile industry in the country. In fact, both were the centers of textile industry once upon a time. The biggest textile industry of the country was in India, and in fact, textile was the only industry in the country at that particular point of time. So you can imagine the legacy, the history that both the states enjoy. But unfortunately, textile industry didn't survive, though it should have been now the forefront of industrialization of the country. Today's automobile sector, which is actually driving the growth of industry in the country. But textile was our homegrown industry. And cotton is grown in both, so natural fiber, not man-made fiber. Of course, there is a big man-made fiber company in Gujarat and Maharashtra both, run by Reliance and others. But point I'm saying is agriculture, services and industry all have a huge potential to grow, and there is a natural advantage Gujarat and Maharashtra both have in growth of that. Now, these are all realities, facts. The potential is huge. What is that, my friend, connect easy you can do? So I think Virag can actually think about, if you have brought such distinguished people together, why don't you take upon yourself the responsibility of working with both the state governments and try to create a vision for both the states properly. Charter accountants can do that. And I'm not saying try to create a detailed vision, at least some sort of a broad outline about how the both states should be developed from today onwards. In that, the most important component should be how do you create jobs. This is a big challenge, not just for India, but global economy. We are the cusp of fourth industrial revolution. And that is going to mean that this industrial revolution will be driven more by technology, like all other earlier revolutions. But this one will be so much dominated by technology that we will find job creation going to be even more difficult. And therefore, where are the job opportunities that you can identify? You must think about, guide the people. And if Chakra cannot do it, then who will do it? You have the ability, you have the technical competence, you have the training. So you must focus on such things. Otherwise, celebrating a day like this will not be the right thing to do if you don't follow it up and try to work on logical conclusions of doing that. Otherwise, we celebrate a day and then forget about it. It's like anti-tobacco day. So that day I will not chew tobacco. The next day I'll chew more because I didn't get opportunity to take it yesterday. And both, of course, are producing tobaccos also. So I think we should be very more in Gujarat than in Maharashtra. But I'm saying if you don't work on these issues or the follow-up, then you're not utilizing the human resource that is available with you. Chartered accountants have an obligation, a duty, because we are better off than others. Because as chartered accountants, we know something more than many other professionals don't know. And of course, the common man, unfortunately, is deprived of knowing that because we have trained, we are educated, we have experience, and now not only individually but even collectively have brought together such good resources. So I think we'll have to work on that very effectively and create a permanent platform in which probably, like we have a study circle in charter account, why don't you actually create a research circle? This is what I've been telling even the charter accountants, ICI at national level. That ICI has a very good research foundation, but actually use that for propagating good ideas in the country, for doing something good for the humanity, good for the society, good for the country. I think this is what you must try to do. And I'm very happy, Virag, that you have taken this initiative. And I can see such fantastic group of people who are here. So just imagine your collective ability to work on these issues. So I think you should try to do that. And I'm very sure, actually, I can see only one Khayati and all others are my friends. So I cannot say sisters and brothers, actually sister and brother. So fellow brothers, so I hope there are more Khayatis join in this program and try to work on that because don't get me wrong if I say this, but women are more diligent than men. I have my own experience. And therefore, I think we should try to involve them more. So such activity that I just mentioned could be carried out by them over a period of time in a much more focused manner. I think you should work on this. I had to go for some other program. Despite that, I wanted to join in only to wish both states a very happy state foundation, state creation day. As I said in the beginning, both have so much in common. And I think that's our strength. Not only we are neighboring states, but we are actually sister states, as I said, born in the same twin states, I would call it, born to the same mother. So I hope we all take this mission forward, mission of making both the states progressing well. In fact, just imagine, Maharashtra and Gujarat both grow at 12-13%. India GDP will grow faster. In fact, I had worked on that as Commerce Industry Minister. I said if each district of India grow at 3% more than their normal growth, India will grow at 3% more. And therefore, actually, I started, I never say something and leave it at that. I first don't say something which I have not planned. I never implement something which I have not said. So actually, that program is still on. 6 districts of India, of course, I don't know with what speed, but 6 districts of India are selected. And I said if all these 6 districts grow at 3% or more, not only 3, but minimum 3% more, India will grow faster. Just imagine you can do the same thing. Gujarat and Maharashtra growing at 4-5% more than what they're growing today. By focusing on districts of those states, India will grow at 5-6% more. In any case, it cannot happen that all the states have to grow at the same rate. Never happens anywhere in the world as well. And therefore, those who have capability, already industrialized states, already better infrastructure than other states in the country, they must grow faster to benefit a country, not for benefit of our states alone. As I said, I'm born in Maharashtra and my daughter-in-law is Gujarati, so I have interest in both. But I will not say that only two states must benefit for their own benefit. They must do that, but also for larger benefit. That's how country will benefit. Like it happens in a joint family. Now the HUF is gone, that HUF exists only for tax purpose in most of the state. But when you have a joint family, the Karta takes care of the co-pensioners because he realizes that he has an obligation, responsibility. So this is the responsibility as Kartas of the country we must take Gujarat and Maharashtra must work for the development and betterment of the rest of the rest of the country. I hope all this will help you to think differently, and we'll work on this. Let me offer you the best. Thank you very much.
Sir, we are humbled to have you here today. मला मराठी स्पष्ट येत नाही, पण मी प्रयत्न करणार. आपण आज येऊन आम्हाला सपोर्ट केलं त्यासाठी मनापासून धन्यवाद. Thank you, sir. We are humbled to have you here, and you are not. I would request CA Virag to also thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We will take all your suggestions in the right spirit, and we'll work upon that, and we'll also inform you time by time that what we are doing, sir. Thank you once again, sir, for joining and making our event a very grand event, sir. Thank you so much.